Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Mad Bum Looks podcast. My name is Sim. Along with me are the usual South Asian sensation,
the usual suspects,
Sheikh Amr and Mahin on the bottom, and my man Mort up on top right next to me. Whoa, up on top right next to me. Okay, that's...
Well, maybe you need to adjust your camera a little bit. I think it's
Oh, is my camera messed up?
Too much on your face, dude.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
Perfect.
There,
There you go.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even said anything, dude. My bad, dude.
You're having trouble getting in the hole?
It's all right. This makes...
Having trouble getting in the hole?
Oh, no. What a bad start.
Okay, good.
Cool.
All right.
Perfect. What a bad start, Mort.
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole. How's everyone doing? Help us out on patreon.com/themadmumlukes. Couple bucks a month. That's all we ask. Maybe a little bit more if you are so inclined. You know, there's some people who are much more well off than others. But, you know, we always encourage you to help out the more people who are more in need than us. And, you know, we have this situation in Yemen right now. There's a lot of starvation and whatnot. I think Morty talked about it last time on the show. Yeah. So before we start the show off, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about last week's episode where we had the roundtable, and towards the end of it, we had some commentary related to Daniel Hakikachu. God bless you. There's a lot of people who don't know who Hakikachu is, this commentator on YouTube, and I have to give a little preface because you know not a lot of people are on Facebook, and you know they don't know what the hell we're talking about all the time. So Hakikachu is like your side-eyeing Amu and Khalti, right? Is that how you say it? Amus and Khaltis. They're always side-eyeing, you know, judging you. You know, why is that lady wearing you know, so and so and taking a graduation picture? You know, he's kind of like that. You know, he brings out the inner hate that some of our religious people have, right?
You mean the wasa wasa?
So we had a little bit of commentary, and Mahin had some points that he made. Everything was fine, except we kind of crossed the line where we brought up things that were related to private discussions that happened in a private setting, where there was an understanding when we have a gathering like that it's whatever's discussed, and whatever's discussed in a WhatsApp group, it's supposed to be private. Because there's a lot of things that I can say that are in favor of the opposing view of, you know, yaqeen and all that stuff, that were private discussions, but they're private. Yeah. That's an understanding that we have when we meet our guests and things like that. And that's why I had to remove that clip. Because
there was a lot of private
conversation. And there was some great discussion afterwards too. You know, I made some other commentary related to it, but I just had to be fair, and I just had to take the whole chunk out because it wasn't fair. First, I got defensive about it when someone told me about it, but then I'm like, you know what? Because this guy knows. You guys all know. I always have your back, no matter what. Like, even when you're wrong, I'll be like, nah, he's my guy, but I'm gonna go fighting with him, you know. But in that instance, I was like, you know what? We kind of screwed up on that. But afterwards, some of the petulant behavior I saw from people who were related to the discussion points, it brought me some understanding. Let's just say that. Like, oh, really? Okay. So you're going to say the Mad Mamluks are out to get you. You know what I'm saying? So that I mean, you guys know, like, we're pretty objective about everything. We're pretty objective about, we give people, forget about 72 excuses, we give them 172 excuses before they're canceled.
Yeah, I don't really agree with canceling, right? It's like,
well, when we start, when all this stuff started, who was doing this commentary? It was us, Safina Society, Muhammad Gilan,
right?
Hakikachu, but he was just doing a lot of stuff for Yaqeen back then.
Right.
He was low key. We've been talking about this stuff for years. before, some of the fervor grew behind Hakikachu, and he got quite a big following behind his thing. But who was it that who had always been talking about these, the effects of liberalism and things like that on Islamic institutions?
Right.
It was Dr. Shadi, us, Gilan, some of the brothers from Zaytuna, Mubin Vaid.
Right.
I can't. If I forgot you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that this phenomena that's happened with modernism and liberalism affecting Muslim institutions and things like that. He doesn't own that, and in a way, some of his problematic tweets are diminishing the claims that we're bringing up, the legitimate claims that we brought up, because when you remember when we had the Dutton guy, what did he do on his thing? He's got a lot of. I got the book here. Dutton, for those who don't know what we're talking about, Dutton is this alt-right. He's not necessarily alt-right, but he's kind of far-right commentator. He does a lot of writing related to evolutionary psychology, and he wrote a book about Islam making you stupid, certain tenets of Islam making you stupid, and we'll get to that later. But what does that invite? Some of the controversial things that he says, like FGM causing lower IQ. It invites a certain brand of people, doesn't it? It invites a certain band of characters, like white supremacists and stuff, who say, "Hey, you know what? These Muslims, they're the problem." And what does he say? Well, like when Islam is going to take over the world, well, we're taking it as a compliment, but he's inviting the fear that a lot of these white supremacists already have, unknowingly or knowingly. This is how they build a following.
Okay.
This is how a brand is built.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Hakikachu, when you see his Twitter stuff about how women are dressed and things like that, he knows that's silly, but he knows he's inviting a certain brand of Muslims.
Right.
He knows those people are kind of left alone. They don't.
They feel othered.
They feel othered, and they like. You're exactly right. They feel othered. They feel like their voice isn't heard, and they want to feel better about themselves. So they kind of poop on people, right? They poop on the way people dress. Like, oh, look at that.
Yep.
So these are the audience you're building up, right? And then you need a villain. Well, who's your villain? Because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, why doesn't Yakin reply? Why doesn't why aren't the statements issued and things like that, refutations and whatnot?" Well, because you need a villain, and why should they give him a villain that he needs to build his story? Because that's what all these guys have. The people in social media and stuff. It's actually a very strategic move not to provide him that.
Yeah. Well, actually, would you think that even from a point of view of employer-employee?
No, forget about that. No,
like how can you ignore that though? But in the sense of, like, for example,
there is that layer.
Like,
right.
If you're the ex-employer, and if they start saying stuff about him, is there potential litigation or liability?
That could be a case, but they have friends too, right?
Right.
They have a lot of friends.
It is, but like there's a fundamental. If you like, the first thing, if we work in corporations, right?
Yeah.
And Yakin's not a nonprofit 501c3, right? So whatever, there's some kind of severance, right, that happened. Now, without getting the speculation of what, but generally speaking, people like human resources or the organization doesn't like talking about it's kind of like, all right, they're no longer with us. That's how you ever get that memo? You're like, hey, what happened to Joe?
Absolutely.
He's not in the phone book anymore. It's like, oh yeah, he doesn't work here anymore. Like, what happened? Like, well, you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like, I think that's part of that. It's like, it's something to think about at least. We don't know. I haven't asked I think the perception is that, like, there's a mentality that there's the quarantine methodology, which is, there's a documentary, because when you guys were, after the Dutton interview, I was inspired to like research more about the alt-right. So there's a documentary on Netflix, alt-right. It was focused on Richard Spencer though.
Yeah.
And this guy from Antifa. And so there's got the Southern Poverty Law Center guy. He was like, they're interviewing him, and he was like, because of social media, deplatforming and trying to force deplatforming, or what's the other term, like quarantine method, doesn't work anymore. It's gone because it just like they'll just keep finding more people. Like whether Yakin responds or not, like Daniel will keep continuing. He can keep going, right? A response. So I think they have a mindset that if we just ignore it, it'll just go away. Like no, it won't. You'll just go. You are gonna have to deal with it at some point now. So I think that's where. I don't know, but again, I don't really get why.
Daniel will keep going though.
He'll still go, but so that's probably they're like he's gonna keep going if we say something or not. So why are we gonna put our energy there, kind of thing?
Well, that's my whole thing. Like, so here's the thing. Look, let's say there's a disgruntled employee. Let's say you want to believe that, right? Okay, and I mean, it doesn't take away from the legitimacy of an argument he's making. I mean, let's just say he might be just targeting them because he has a problem, but at the very core of it, the argument in itself that he's making, tear that apart.
Right. I agree with that premise. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, what were your thoughts on Dilly's episode? It was a smash success.
I had a quick question for you though, because you said something that, and I go
ahead.
That it was a kind of question. So, are you saying that are you getting feedback that are saying that because you're talking about how Mad Mamluks, we were one of the early podcasts and we talked about these issues, right?
Yeah.
And are now people saying that because I went after Daniel that Mad Mamluks sold out to the left? Are you getting that kind of narrative?
Kind of. Yeah. So a lot of some people.
Wait, they think I'm gonna be on the left?
Not necessarily, but that we're.
That's kind of cute. I gotta agree.
No, you know what's funny?
I'm actually knowing. I apologize, but I'm hearing this for the first time.
No, but wait.
That's pretty cool.
You know why I'm laughing? Oh my god, hold on. You know why I'm laughing though? Because just a month ago we were called racist. Like we were all bros, and now all of a sudden now we're on the left side.
Well, obviously, whose followers those are going to be Daniel's followers who are going to start accusing us of being that. Whatever. Yeah. So you know what's going to happen. That's fun. It's not necessarily that.
I mean, that is really about me.
So we're hated by both sides. Essentially, there's going to be people who are ardent followers of whatever institute, movement, personality. They're going to get their guy. That's their belief, and they've made a decision that they're going to follow that guy no matter what, and they don't want to admit they're wrong. And I've never said not to follow anyone, for the record. I've always said everything has its use and purposes. Yakin, I know one of the questions Dilly was asked by Daniel was on that show was, hey, would you have your kids read Yakin articles? And I said, what's the problem? You should. Everything is a tool. It's not necessarily that, even if you disagree with something, it's not like you're going to be, navigating into kufr or anything. The most I think Yakin is guilty of, from everything I've read, and we've had this stuff from Justin Parrott days. We had a podcast with Justin Parrott. I was defending Justin in the comments. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
There's sins that are lies, and there's sins that are omissions. And I would rather have sins of omissions and lies. And what Justin's article didn't have at that point, this is 4 years ago for the audience. This was an article about jihad and trying to make a new or a defense of how jihad is understood, and how to contextualize jihad itself. And Justin failed to neglected the offensive aspect of jihad, which is conducted by a state. And I wrote in the comments where a lot of people were attacking Justin, and I was saying, hey, look, Justin's not dealing with this reality of a caliphate. So he's not talking about an offensive jihad because there is no caliphate right now. And I was like defending him in that sense, Whereas there were people who were saying that Yakin is, promoting this leftist agenda and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? That's not necessarily the case. They might not be a place of that's producing scholarly scholars or whatever. Maybe it's just a type of website that's like more related to apologetics, a hybrid of how to deal with a lot of the issues that are related to Muslims defending their faith. They don't necessarily need to know every single thing about every problematic issue, like offensive jihad, which is not a reality right now. So why should they know that? So
but we gotta make it a reality. like tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think with Yaqeen, a lot of people had a lot of high hopes.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if I'm thinking things. They consider themselves, or they promoted themselves as a think tank for Muslims, right?
That's a little bit of a stretch of a word.
When you think about think tank, you think of super highly advanced research and no stone,
Look, I'll tell you right now, they're not a think tank. Okay, a think tank, they have. If you read like think tanks reports like Rand and others, they have very detailed reports. They didn't leave no stone unturned.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make friends with Omar Suleiman or anyone else. I love those guys. They're very nice. And Jonathan Brown, I love him to that. Super nice people. Amazing. But they're not a think tank. There's, discussions that are happening.
I look at them like outreach. Like when you read, remember growing up reading Islamic Horizon?
Yeah.
Or Al Juma?
That's how I look at them.
Okay.
They're just articles. They're articles and kind of blogs.
So it's a coordinated.
Can you
blog.
put your microphone a little closer to your mouth if you don't mind? There you go.
Is that better for you, sir? Can you hear me?
That's a little better.
Okay, good.
He's already pretty loud though.
Yeah, I'm already pretty loud.
Okay.
You hear that? I'm loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Back to my train of thought.
Islamic Horizons.
Yes, I know.
Fadal, ya habibi.
Shukran. Okay. Anyways, no, but I mean, I did a show on this on my own live channel.
Say wallah.
Shameless
I was on
plug.
that stream, remember?
Shameless plug.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No,
I'm just joking.
Just let him talk, dude.
Sorry. Go ahead. I love you more. Go ahead.
Really? In the middle of all this, you're gonna say that?
What? I love you, bro.
Right. See what we have to deal with, everybody. Anyways, look. So we're talking about this, and a few people jumped in. I don't want to say who, but because people can go back and watch it. But we kind of had a conversation, and I didn't want to bring up the name, to be honest. It's just kind of everyone knew what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
I was just saying, listen, people have to stop, just putting attacking individuals and work on refuting arguments, like the core arguments, right? And then it became more into a discussion about, if someone's doing this, if they're making personal attacks and should I respond? And the way I look at it is like this. If, let's just say it's person A, let's say it's Daniel, you're saying whatever. If he calls you out and you're a sheikh and you're in that realm of being a da'i or whatever, then I believe that you're within your rights to fire back at it, right? To clarify your name. The problem that I'm having is there's a bunch of other people around who are not involved in the conversation. And they are putting their input in there, trying to hype up other people. And sometimes some of these main figures were not even being mentioned, but they're taking clips and then tagging them and saying, what do you think about this? You have to refute that. Oh my God, can you believe this, right? And that kind of thing I'm feeling is not a good thing to do, because the way I look at it is that Daniel has his purpose, Yaqeen has their purpose, or whatever they may be, they have their purpose, and they appeal to a certain crowd of people. And I even hate to say this, but Mufti Abu Layth al-Maliki, he has his own purpose for his crowd. I mean, people, I'm not saying I agree with it, but hey, he's keeping some people within the realm of Islam just by being who he is. Yeah. Right? And I'm saying, if you don't like the content, don't subscribe to it and don't pay attention to every little thing he's putting out there. There are people out there, and I'm going to take a stab at somebody here. I don't know who the person is, but anyone behind that blog, Daniel vs. the World, you're a punk to me. You're a coward, spineless punk to me. I'll be honest with you. I don't say it to anybody, because if you can't come out and put your name on something, don't talk.
Yeah.
You're a coward to me.
Yeah, I think that guy, he tagged us in some Twitter thing, and I'm like, I don't respond to people who have these,
anonymous accounts.
Anonymous accounts,
right. At least Daniel's putting his name by his words. Asadullah Andalus putting his name by Jonathan Brown putting his name on it. You coward punk. You're just sitting there trying to attack people because you feel butthurt about something. Oh well. I don't deal with that, right? I respect someone who can come out with their words. And so I'm thinking that kind of stuff is what angers me. Because you're fueling the fire when you have you're not, I can't imagine it'd be one of those people that Daniel has been talking about. I couldn't imagine it being like Yasser Qadi behind that. I mean, I just couldn't imagine that, right? Obviously, we don't think it's going to be one of them.
It'd be funny though.
Yeah, it would be hilarious. I mean, if it
plot
was. I mean, yeah. But my point would still stand. I would still tell us, hey, you're still a coward. You know what I mean? If you did that, right? But the point being is that it's likely somebody who's in that camp, who's really like who wants to say something, but he's too coward to come out and say his opinion. And he doesn't want to, he's kind of like trying to play it safe, and he can say what he wants to say with being anonymous. And I don't like that kind of attitude. Everybody on Twitter is anonymous, right? Tweeting somebody, adding somebody. And then the other thing is, it kind of the reason why I did it was because people tagged you and me and him. Hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, well, why are they tweeting? Well, why are they asking our opinion as if we're responsible for whatever somebody else does? Like, I'm not responsible for what. What Daniel might put out, or what Nabil Aziz might put out, or what Sim might say, or what you might say, or what I'm only accountable for what I say, right? So why are you asking me what's up with your boy? It's like condescending, right? Like, we're not in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's. I mean, if you're gonna put it that way, I mean, I could, tag Lina Sarsour and go, what's up with your sister? You look at this woman. I don't do that kind of stuff, right? It's stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's childish. Like, either be if you really want to tackle the issue and the problem, deal with it in a mature fashion. Otherwise, don't deal with it.
Let's not spend the whole show on this.
I do gotta ask you a couple. So
real quick.
The only thing that rubbed me the wrong way is that I didn't find out about it being edited until that freaking anonymous account tweeted at us.
Oh yeah.
So don't you think it's like, okay, so I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was like, we should talk about offline. But listen, I was like, if we're gonna edit out stuff, then I think we should, as co-hosts, should get a heads up. Hey guys, I'm cutting this out, right?
Yeah, normally I do, but I just didn't care.
I'll be
at this point because I was kind of blindsided. I knew we were going to be talking about that stuff that we talked about it before the show. Like, hey, we're going to talk about the Daniel stuff. But I didn't know you were going to bring up personal things because we didn't talk to.
But here's the thing, though.
The house we were at. Yeah. Did you talk to that sheikh and say, hey, can we talk about this?
I did.
Okay. Did you talk to the other party who was there? And say,
Daniel?
hey, hey, can we talk about this?
But because here's the thing.
Because there's an environment that's set up over there.
I want to get your take on this because this is the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I mentioned on the show last week that there was a conversation Daniel and I had after the Yakin article dropped that I'm not going to reveal the details of because at the beginning, Daniel asked me, is this going to be private? You have to ensure that first.
Yeah.
So by default, I'm like, okay, so every other conversation we had, like, how come he doesn't do, like, I don't assume that.
When you're at someone's house, when you're in consultation with a sheikh, we're sitting in a circle with that sheikh, and that conversation is private.
I don't like. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that also because it also from my point about Daniel, my conclusion isn't based upon all the public stuff. It's the holistic. It's my personal interaction. So that's why I had to mention that. And that's why, and I'm not unless you tell me there's something Sharia wise. Now, if you're telling me that, hey Maheen, that if it's a circle like that, then you can't talk about it. That's something else. Then we can re-examine.
Well, if he was giving him nasiha, right? If he was actually giving him sincere nasiha, after that point, I mean, that's between him and the sheikh, right? I mean, that's something that you don't.
But
it's a matter of Islamic confidentiality.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it was like an argument and he did him wrong and he's being disrespectful, someone's being disrespectful to somebody, and you talk about that incident, even then, it's, I would keep it on wraps. But if someone's actually giving somebody nasiha, which it seemed like he was doing, it seemed like he was giving him nasiha to do something or learn something, whatever the case is, and then he had a bad reaction to that. That's something that is just kind of like code. You know what I'm saying? You just, I consider that Islamically confidential.
So what about other conversations where you're like driving around and having talks and stuff? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think someone has to tell you. Like, we could talk about Islamic stuff in a bit, but I think if you're sitting alone with somebody and you're having a conversation that nobody knows about, I automatically think of that as something like...
So wait, why don't you just define what the ghiba and the namima is?
Yeah,
because that's really what it falls under.
Yeah. I will do that. But as far as when you're sitting alone and talking to somebody... Right, I just consider that because that whole episode, I was trying to understand. That's why I kept on asking: is he telling people like some ideas of what Qadianis believe? Like, if there's pushback against an individual, if he's not inviting kufr and people are following that kufr, then it's just one of those things, dude, just let that guy alone and just don't follow him. What my approach would be. So I was really wanting to know, is he inviting people to like some type of kufr or some type of polytheism or something? Because then I would be like, dude, that's then he has to be stopped because people are following him, right? That's why I really wanted to know what was happening.
So you wanted to know if it was like a legit jarh wa ta'dil, like
jarh wa ta'dil, flexing
my
it,
God.
flexing it, son.
You guys and your Arabic.
But as far as look, if somebody has a private conversation with you and you mention something about them that they don't like, that's considered riba, right? If you mention something about them that they would dislike when they're not there, I mean, obviously that's considered riba.
Now, what do you think about somebody who's a public figure like he is, propping himself in a certain way? And I'm like, based on my experience, because it's like, is there an issue there where...
If it's inviting to kufr and if it's causing major issue, like Islamic issues, right? But the thing, that's why I kept on asking, is he inviting people to something of some type of deviation or something like that,
So what Mort was saying earlier, right? So, okay, if Daniel did his own thing, if he did Muslim skeptic, and he did his liberalism and his feminism and his stuff, debating Murtadeen, etc., and Yaqeen did their own thing, their own audience. The problem is that a huge part of Daniel's volume is going after Yaqeen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
not everybody knows about that. That's the other thing. It's only the people who are on like kind of like social, even not all the people on social media know about this.
Well, I'll be honest. So, look, wait, hold on. It doesn't matter how many people know or not. If Yaqeen knows that he's going after Yaqeen, they have a right to respond to him.
I understand that. I don't even care about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is,
look at it. Like,
even the people that are affected by what he's saying, since you guys are like, you guys are telling me new news when we were talking about this stuff. Like even me, I'll check Facebook once in a while, right?
Dude, honestly,
but I didn't know about any of this.
I'll be honest, dude. The only, and no disrespect to my brother Daniel, but I don't follow anybody. I don't even listen to our own show. I mean, like, I didn't even know that you edited the last show. I just found out right now. To be honest.
Yeah, so, I was trying to do it under the radar without causing a fuss because
but already, I mean, in general, what I'm saying, I don't know what happened. You could tell me you scrapped the last show. I wouldn't even know it. It got scrapped until you. But my point being is that I only know about Daniel because of the clout that other people make about it, right? But what I'm saying though is apparently Yaqeen has very loyal fans or followers. And they're also aware of who's talking about Yaqeen, and so they happen to come across Daniel stuff that's attacking maybe Yaqeen itself or some some people among them. And so naturally, when you're part of this ta'ifiyya, like you're part of this firqa, like your group, you're going to become you have ghira for it, right? You have like jealousy for your sheikh or your shuyukh or whatever. And so they're like, oh, you have to, repel them. Or, how when you're younger, we got in that phase where you're just overzealous, right?
But sometimes you're confused. I was talking to a youth leader, okay? A youth leader was telling me this. He was like, this was his problem with Daniel. He was like, listen, he has kids who are in high school. They don't know anything. They're learning about Islam. They see Yaqeen, but then they see Daniel start like, oh, it makes, and they're like, well, what is Daniel saying? Is he's saying this about Yaqeen? Should we take from Yaqeen? And he's causing doubt, right? It's just like, because somebody doesn't know. Now we're older enough, we kind of figure it out. I remember back in the day, man, I'll tell you a story and we can move on, but I had this friend, right, back when we were like hardcore Salafi. So Sheikh Hamza Youssef came to Ohio. And
is that when you made takfir of Hamza Youssef?
And so
you laughed it off. You didn't even give me a confirmation.
So anyways, I probably said worse about him, to be honest. But you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so this one sister's going, right? It's my friend's cousin. She's barely practicing, right? And so my friend's concerned about it. I'm like, yo, and I was starting to like kind of phase out a little bit of like the whole like my little hardcore way, right? Yeah. So my friend's like, yeah, I'm a little concerned about it. Did she pray, dude? He's like, yeah, she started praying though. It was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I don't have a problem. I'm just worried about like, what if she likes Hamza Youssef too much, and then next thing you know, she'll be like at some graves worshiping graves. I'm like, yo,
Yanni,
you created
it's a legitimate concern.
But it's like, legitimate concern. He changes accent when he says it.
I'm like, yo, your cousin is barely like not even wearing a hijab, like barely on the deen, right? Just started praying, and Hamza Youssef is not going to talk about no grave worship. I'm pretty sure, and I was there.
Well, so I would have told her like at least she'd be worshiping something. I mean, you didn't play it at all. It's a start,
Oh my god.
That's it. And before you go, so here's the thing. I had a feeling you might have cut something out. Now, I will digest what the sheikh said.
Yeah.
But I obviously have my own recording. of the clip.
Oh, that's your own
That's my
platform.
prerogative, right?
That's your platform.
Okay, right.
That has nothing to do with the Mad Mamluks.
Right.
And that was my point when when all these people were messaging me.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, he's his own person.
Yeah.
But they're trying to blame all four of us, saying that we're complicit in your behavior. And I'm like, wait a second. Why can't we each of us have our own opinion? We're supposed to be what?
Defend? I mean, I was defending the guy too a little bit. I mean, I was the one that
I was talking to some brothers. They were like, it was
Right?
balanced. Some brothers were like, it was great back and forth because it was balanced.
But the audacity that you stepped out of line
With the I'm
that you weren't on Daniel's side. That
Listen,
you were
if those brothers want to send, if they want to send me a check, I will gladly be on Daniel's side.
No, not only that, but listen.
He's gonna do it for the money.
Here's the only thing. Listen. If you can't handle, if you don't know us by now that we're gonna have different opinions on things, and we're gonna clash on certain things. We don't all have the same opinion about everything. All right, so if you don't know us by now, just unsubscribe. You go away.
Whoa! I don't know.
No, go away.
There's a difference of opinion right there too.
But I'm saying, listen, do you want people to be bickering about stuff?
Don't unsubscribe from Patreon, bro.
Okay, fine. Listen, unsubscribe from the Muzzy, but if you are, because I don't want people like that around me. If you can't handle what I'm saying, bro. No, honestly, if you can't handle what I'm saying, don't follow me. I'm not here to you're not my wife, dude. I'm not gonna come home and argue about stupid stuff with you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't like it, get out of here.
Bro, that one statement Ward said, and people went crazy of him saying that, dude, why are you even Muslim? Just don't be Muslim. Because people remember how much fire
that's how I feel about it.
Hilarious,
I
bro.
really feel legitimately about that, right? But anyways, that's a different thing. I'm saying that. Right. No, look, I mean, you have to know. I'm thinking now. Let's kind of segue into something else. This is just about us as even a show, a podcast about human beings, right? Yeah. If you think that I have to say everything to dance to your tune, otherwise we're not friends, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
I don't want to know you. Right? If you can't handle, if you want a yes man, well, I mean, I don't think any of us are yes men. Yeah. So if you just want some do-boy that's going to do your errands for you and speak your mind for you, I'm not that guy.
Do-boy, for some reason.
All right? I'm not that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have my own opinion. And if you want, somebody else that's just going to go ahead and just, agree with everything, I don't know, man. Watch one of those, I don't know, what are they called? Incongruent, whatever the hell they are, or something, or coffee with somebody, whatever, have some, I don't know, we just go to have that stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure, some of those are our friends,
no, they're my friends, but they're agreeable, right? They're nice people.
Yeah,
right? I'm not a nice person.
I see what you mean. I mean,
I'm not a nice person. I mean, I'm the truth is not nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts over feelings.
Right. Yeah. Ben Shapiro and shameless plug, but still, the point being is that now you're all right, bro. Now you see, you did it again.
I hate Ben Shapiro for FYI.
No, Ben Shapiro reminds me of an autistic loser. Like, he's like, oh, you know what I'm saying, guys? It's fat. I mean, he's just such a loser. Anyways, point being is that, listen, guys, at the end of the day, we're going to have opinions. You're going to have opinions. But what did we say from day one? I remember the first 10, 20 episodes we did. What was the first thing we always kept saying? We are still an ummah. Yeah, dude. Right? At the end of the day, we're still brothers, and we can agree to disagree. We haven't lost sight of that. We don't have any animosity to anybody else that had it. I mean, do you know how much criticism we get in our show? And I'll just say, oh, cool, thanks for the constructive criticism. Do you want to come on the show? I always do. Even the other day, remember that Somali guy that was pestering me about, oh, you're a sellout? I'm like, hey, come to the show, bro. I even subscribe to him. I even, I follow every one of the tweets for him, right? Because I want to engage you, right? And if you can't show me that common courtesy back, don't follow me.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Done.
Phone drop.
Next topic.
Cool. Nice.
Cool. So let's talk about this clip that got a lot of Muslims really upset on Twitter.
So cringy, bro.
No, this is not that one yet, Sheikh. I'll save it.
I can't believe I ain't show that.
Yeah, you've been making nervous face since the get-go, so I know you're already nervous.
No.
Yeah, you are. I could tell.
I'm actually kind of sleepy, to be honest with you.
Oh, you're sleepy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Nothing,
want to talk about it?
No, just didn't have a nap today.
Okay.
All right. So this one right here.
This is even more cringy.
Oh my god.
I hate this clip, dude. Oh, I just saw this today.
I just want to say this right now, bro.
Hang on.
You push back on some of those Sunday school rules, they'll push back on you. So for everybody watching, I just want you guys to know, I'm going to kick this thing off with the dua.
So it's Hasan Minhaj talking to Keith Ellison. They're doing a dua or whatever.
He's making a,
So, Brandon, Cody, Cole, you guys just participate. Ready? Here we go. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Sounds like Sim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Short one. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
Bro, he did it just like our parents were doing.
Please unite us all in the cause for justice.
I feel like Douglas.
Oh Allah, please protect Brother Keith Ellison. He is fighting the good fight, and this is a fight for justice. Ya Allah, please protect us from plaque, gum disease, and gingivitis. Oh Allah, you know how when you're on FaceTime audio, and then it drops and it switches you to LTE, but then LTE also sucks. Ya Allah, please make LTE strong and better.
God,
you know
it's
how
so
when you bite
cringy,
into an
dude.
olive and there's still a pit in it, Allah. Allah, please protect us from the pit. Ya Allah, please bring back limited edition wasabi Doritos. They were really good. Allah, please. Ya Allah, please protect us from white women in yoga pants. Astaghfirullah, please. Ya Allah, please.
I have to keep doing switches back and forth because I don't want
To freeze.
some copyright
Oh.
to happen.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah. So anyway,
Look,
I don't know what your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this?
So first
issue?
of all, can I just say something?
Okay.
First of all, Hasan Minhaj, dude, your comedy is not funny. I'm sorry, dude.
Look, come on, you're being a little harsh.
No.
He's funny, but
Hold on.
this one was kind of stupid.
No, listen, dude. For me, I think his political commentary is better, but I think his comedy is cheesy funny, and that stuff right there wasn't funny to me at all.
Yeah, that wasn't funny at all.
And I'll tell you something.
That was
Like, you know what I
cringy.
despise about Muslims who get into Hollywood? As if it's not enough people mocking Islam and, you know, things that you do, you have to go in there and play that dumb role.
Yeah.
And be that dummy doing the same thing. Like, it's kind of like the same guy, that one Desi or Arab guy that makes it to Hollywood, and all he does is, and he does like a comedy sketch, and he just makes fun of the accent. Like the Desi guy, like, oh, da, 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 da. And the Arab guy, they go, you are very nice person. Like, I mean, it's stupid. Like, I hate that. Like, you're playing into that stereotype. Like, you have a platform, dude. You could have made I mean, why mimic a dua?
Yeah.
You know, something that people, and that's something that literally, like, you know, we believe it with yaqeen that changes things.
Yeah.
Like, we believe Allah, and that has the power to, you know, to invoke Allah.
Yeah.
And you know, like, there's something, you're talking about yoga pants and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I think it's bad
Bishop,
taste.
so can you pass a fatwa on this? And
It doesn't need to be passed. There's no fatwa.
can you
It
make
can be passed.
takfir on this?
No, we're not gonna-
Can you
Okay,
make
all right.
takfir on this guy?
Actually, I was wondering, does he have to redo a shahada?
No, he didn't have to redo his
No, I don't
shahada,
think
man.
it's that bad.
He's trying to make a joke. He's trying to be all comforting with people and making them feel like Muslims are normal, just like everybody else. The problem is that we're getting into that gray area where Christians became with Christianity and Isa alayhi salam became open game, right? And you could just make fun of him. I'm in fear that thing may... It's already happening, but when media starts showing people making fun of Islam the way Christians make fun of, you know, Jesus and all that kind of, that's disgusting, you know. But
Yeah, well, okay, so you guys know, like, I love comedy, and I'm always trying to, you know, figure out jokes and things related to Muslims and humor. But guys, it is really tough, okay? It is really hard to make funny things related to Islam and Muslims without offending anyone.
yeah,
I sympathize with him flopping on that. I can't call him a kafir, and I think that is, you know, very, you know, we can condemn it to whatever extent we can, but that I would cut him a break in the sense that I don't think he was maliciously, you know, trying to.
denying something from
Yeah,
Islam.
no, I'm not gonna cancel him out for that. I just think it's cheesy comedy. I mean, like I said, I don't think he's a bad guy. I'm not gonna come out and be like, oh, cancel him out. He's just trying to make fun of it. No, I mean, look, you know, I'll give you an example. Like some other people were mad when was that with Jahat when he goes, you know, oh, I say Allahu Akbar when I take a big dump or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For me, I didn't even find that offensive. I'm like, all right, I got the joke of what he was saying, right? Like, oh, you know, like, people celebrate everything, right? Yeah. And I know some Muslims were mad, but that's different, right? I mean, because, you know, he's technically, we say, Ghufranak, or whatever it may be, right? People, we thank God for that. Anyways, the point being is that this was just a little bit cross the line, because you have Keith Ellison, like, giggling, cracking up while they're doing dua, you know, the whole... You know, this thing about it, it's just weird. Like, I mean, that's something you do, like, as a fifth grader. You know what I mean? Like, oh, ho, 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 you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a cheesy joke, right? Like, I just think that there could have been better taste. I mean, it might have been funny for non-Muslims, but for Muslims, it's not funny. I'll just say that much.
Yeah.
Right? And if you find it funny and you're Muslim, you need to work on your iman.
That brings us to our second clip. This one will.
Courtesy of Mahim.
My stomach's hurting from all these cringy clips, bro.
Yeah, this one might upset some people. So viewer discretion is advised. I don't know if you have any
Trigger warning.
listener, or if you have any little kids around,
Yeah,
but
if
you might
you have
want
any
to.
little kids, take the time now to,
Yeah.
you know.
First of all, I shouldn't have kids around me.
But if anyone likes to consume breast milk for fun, they will enjoy this clip.
All right, here we go. So here is the show Ramy from Hulu.
It's on mute.
Oh, dang it. Hang on. All right, here we go.
You recognize Sister Khalifa?
Yeah, I did. How do you know her?
I met her in my quest to conquer sexuality. I found myself viewing her videos at an alarming rate. I needed to stop.
I actually have had similar problems, and the Sheikh has been really helpful, and I feel like if you talk to him about your problems, it would be amazing.
I already figured it out. I found myself sexually fascinated with Mia's breasts, but I wondered if I could create a new relationship with them. No. If I could view her breasts differently. I discovered an old Islamic hadith, somewhat debated, that states, if a person drinks the breast milk of a woman, they establish lineage. They become family. It was used with women who took in orphan boys to ensure there'd be no fornication. So, I reached out to Mia. I told her about my addiction. I found her to be a fascinating and compassionate human being. She wanted to help me. So, we induced lactation, a difficult process, but we procured the milk I needed. And I knew that if I drank her breast milk, my body would understand. I cannot jerk off to my own mother.
No.
All right, I think that's enough, right?
It's way more than enough,
All
bro.
right.
My stomach's hurting now.
All right.
I need some Tums.
So
Mahi's gonna love the comments about this. They
there,
know about, like,
this is pure, utilizing in hadith of the Prophet in a comedy. You know, we're not surprised that it's a Ramy, and he described his work as dawah, that he thinks that this is a way of him engaging with non-Muslims. Ya Sheikh, in his dawah, has he committed kufr?
Allah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know if he.
Come on, we need some Abu Khadija type, bro.
Abu Khadija types.
We need some takfir going on here, man.
No, I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm not that person for that. But
how are you gonna let this weasel escape from this?
No, I don't like it at all. I don't like when people take things out of context and make comedy out of it. Obviously, I think it's disgusting. But is that grounds for calling someone a kafir?
But could you say that he's using it as a way to almost mock the sheikh? Because like if you watch the entire episode, there's a part where he's like, hey, we're gonna pray. He's like, oh, I got a guy that prays for me, like this rich Arab. He like pays a guy, and he's like, yeah, he's the LeBron of praying. And so dude like comes in chalk, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's like I think it's mocking like this type of religious person, of like not religious person, but this type of Muslim who's like all this money just pays everyone off.
Yeah.
Like you hear about stuff where like people take the helicopter to go to the haram.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's because Ramy seems like he's like kind of poking. It's almost like poking fun at this guy's understanding of Islam.
Yeah, I can see that too. But the dilemma is that when Islam is represented, no matter in what situation, you still have to give it a very clear context, so there's no misunderstanding. And Muslims understand this very, very well. We don't find the hadith of Rasulullah open game to make fun of. And there's nothing wrong with you holding things sacred.
I mean, in his defense, he could say like, I'm making fun of people who are misutilizing this hadith, and
but the average
there's a lot of
listener,
Muslims who misutilize hadith for their own benefit.
The average listener person is watching don't see that. They're not getting that. You're getting that. People like you and I probably won't watch this because we don't care about it. But the people who are watching this,
they'll be like, Muhammad used to say that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so bad with people.
That's what they're taking away. Now, somebody who's watching critically, I know you watched it and you looked at it critically and you took certain things away from it, that's because you're religiously inclined and you're looking for certain things and you're understanding, what the life of a Muslim is in the United States and the obstacle, the roller coaster ride that people go through. I get that part, right? And that's what you were telling me. That's kind of like what he's doing, is showing what the average Muslim is going through in the United States and all the weird experiences they have. I get that. I totally get that. But I don't think that that's what people are taking away from it. That's what you're taking away from it. And that's what, if we were to watch it, that's probably what we get from it. But people are just seeing that, again, legitimizing, making fun of tenets of our deen, just like the Christians did with Christianity and Isa alayhi salam.
You know what I look at? So look, in our traditions we have weak hadith, we have strong hadith, mutawatir, whatever you have, right? But none of them were ever mocked.
Yeah.
And we come from a tradition where, scholars would go and make a ghusl, put their best clothes on, put a thought on, everything, just to mention
narrate the hadith,
the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, right?
Yeah.
And to hear about that and then to see it like this,
Yeah.
it leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh yeah, totally.
Absolutely, 100%.
If you don't respect your own,
Yeah.
to the point where you can't, don't expect anybody else to do it.
Yeah.
Because if they're gonna turn around, I'm not blaming Ramy for anything. He can do what he wants to do. All I'm saying is think about the long run.
Yeah.
If you do it,
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
real smooth, in the middle of my epic rant. No, no. But if you allow, the left will come back and Ramy did it, right? So why are you getting mad at us?
Yeah. No, and that's the future. I think that's the future of Islam in America, is as far as, you don't really hear me talking too much about leftists and, people on the right too much, but this idea of people very much involved on the left, like people like you and I, people who hold on to tenets, right? Look what just happened here. Some Muslims, they'll see that and they'll say, oh my God, these guys can't take a joke about the religion. Like, what are they, insecure? Like that automatic postmodern training of tenets. Like, if you hold tenets dearly and sacredly, you take yourself too seriously. Yeah. Right? That's a whole different, we don't even, that understanding doesn't even touch anywhere come near Islam of how sacred Islam is, right? They want to apply that idea of, you should be able to make fun of your own religion or else you're taking yourself too seriously.
Right, that's the whole thing where they're trying to say, everything should be open to critique.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll be damned if we let, people make fun of Islam the way they make fun of it. Just because they don't have ghira for their religion.
Yeah. This is why, Mort, we watch Guz Khan's show on Netflix. Because this guy, he actually has some parameters. He has some red lines that he won't cross. While he definitely skirts gray zones in terms of halal and haram, but he doesn't necessarily, go on to anything insulting.
But who are you talking about?
The Guz Khan's show on Netflix.
Man Like Mobeen?
Man Like Mobeen.
Oh, yeah, Guz Khan. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah. Man Like Mobeen, bro. I love him.
I think you're the one that introduced that show.
No, I think he's you know what it is? I think he knows that he is someone who's an imperfect person.
Yeah.
But he loves to represent the fact that he's a Muslim, and that the core stuff he won't mock it.
The premise of the show is about a guy who is in charge of his sister after his parents pass away.
Yeah, Ikra. I think. Yeah.
So his sister is like,
How come she doesn't wear hijab though?
Huh?
He's not laying down the law.
Yeah, but I think what it is he's like an average British Muslim. But the thing is that you see this guy.
I told the British Muslims are sellouts, dude. I told you.
No, but here's the thing. But you see
British Muslims all hating us on us and stuff.
No, but you see this guy that's like this.
Women only wear hijab. Stuff for Allah.
But you see this
Dilly,
guy.
where you at, bro?
Only the SOAS grads don't wear hijab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Brother, you should look on
it's
the inside,
it's a
not the
Twitter
outside.
joke, guys, if someone doesn't understand that.
But the thing is, it's about this guy who was like a bad man, like a type of gangster. I guess they call him roadman over there in the UK. You're a roadman. But anyways, over here, it means like gangster, I guess, here, like a G. And he kind of finds his way back, right? He's realized his mother, something happens, moves away, he's in charge with his sister, and he's got to be a good role model, so he tries to do what's right.
Does he have a son in there too?
No. But he has a sidekicks, like this one Nigerian guy and this one,
okay.
What's the other? 8 Ball. 8? No, 8. His name is 8.
8?
Yeah, the other guy, they call him 8.
Yeah, 8 Ball is something else.
Yeah, no, but I mean 8. They call him 8. Anyway,
Cool.
but it's like he's still very much Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't cross the line where he's like, oh, that's stupid, right? Like even like the worst of uncles, they're showing up to Salatul Jummah, and like even though he's clowning on him at Jummah, like outside, but they still go and observe prayer, and they're still very much traditional, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Mock the culture. That's cool with me, right?
Yeah.
The uncle culture,
Yeah.
the stupidity behind the things that are un-Islamic. I don't care. But when it comes to Islam, that should be a red line, my people.
Yeah. And
Right?
you remember like in that one clip with Hasan Minhaj and Keith Ellison is like cringing, dude. You could tell, like, you look at it.
I saw him.
He's like, I don't know why are you making me do this? So he's got this face on like I'm gonna get killed.
No,
Not literally, but
it's
like-
almost like I felt more like he was embarrassed because even though he is a Muslim, he doesn't want to put his Islam out there for his constituents. Like, I mean, he doesn't really.
No, I don't. I wasn't.
I think
no,
he's
no,
openly
no.
Muslim.
you know
but-
why?
No, he's openly Muslim. I think
I
everyone.
know that.
But you don't want to be that
No.
religious guy.
Yes, that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
when you're in politics, you can't be up there saying Allahumma ameen. I mean, you're not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not. Gonna do
Those are my favorite uncles, man.
Oh my
I
God.
try to emulate them
There's
after.
uncles. Like, oh, we know. Yeah, I mean, there are uncles. I mean,
I was like, you don't understand anything, bro. Like, stop acting like
Yeah.
emotional.
crocodile tears. you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, nobody wants to be like he can't be that Muslim guy, being in the position that he is politically, right? So you can tell he's kind of awkward. Like, oh my God, what's he gonna make dua for? Because you know, what if he's like, like he makes a dua of like making us victorious against the kuffar. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna feel awkward, right?
Yeah,
Like, they're gonna use anything, and I get that. But the thing is that, like, I just feel like you could just do so much more with the platform that you have.
Yeah, dude. And
Like-
Muslims should never fall into that trap of
Like,
saying,
you could mock how they mock their own religion. Like, not mock their religion, but mock how they don't care about their religion at all. Right? Like, mock their mockery of their religion. Right? Like, that would be ideal for me because we'll be like, you know what? We're Muslims. Thank God we didn't end up like those guys who just, who encourage people to put a Jesus statue in a bottle of piss, right? I mean, we're not like them. You know what I mean? They do that. They call that art. Do you know about that?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you know about that, Sim, right?
Yeah.
About how some lady in the UK put like a statue of Jesus in this whole like glass thing of piss and was like, oh, this is art and you have to tolerate it. Like,
Remember when there was that one Larry David episode where
Oh.
where they're using the washroom and there's like a picture of Jesus that the urine splashes on top of, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, how does any like Christian have any like
any
any protection, protective
let me
feeling over that?
Let me explain to you how much I understand because I know you don't.
by the way,
watch
the reason why, just so I kind of get it, but what I'm saying is that these ideas that we're talking about now, I'm just letting you guys know. The political landscape that's been going on for the past 10 years and the way it's going now, especially with Muslims that are in politics and who they consider extremists, these ideas that we have of not being able to make fun of religion, we're going to be considered extremists. This is considered extremism.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is considered extremism, right? Even though it's not.
Absolutely.
This is Islam.
I don't care if it is.
No, I get
Fly
that.
a
I'm just
goddamn
letting the
kite.
Muslims know is that if you find yourself laughing at jokes that people are making fun of Islam, know that you're going to be safe for right now because they're not going to look at you as someone that's an extremist. But I'm just going to throw myself under the bus, forget everybody else. If I have a problem with that, and if I raise my voice about that, I'm going to be considered extremist.
you know-
and guess who the first people who are going to abandon me is? Muslims.
No, but
Yep.
you know what though? I think I tell people if you're laughing at jokes like that, every time you laugh, every laugh is a piece of your iman going from you.
Yeah, dude, totally. I agree with that.
It
Bro, you know what? Remember that one movie? What's it called? Four Lions. Come on, man. There some of those sentiments we grew up with, and when I was laughing at it, I'm laughing because I grew up with that.
Yeah.
Wait.
But
That's
there were
not-
some-
That's not Islam.
No, I know.
We're laughing at stuff because we used to do that dumb crap.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bro, take your SIM card out. Like, eat your SIM card, right?
Yeah, we'd be like talking about the khilaf or something, and then we would
you're
take
something
ours.
regular thing, and then like he's outside, he's like shaking his head. Like, what are you doing, bro? The cameras are watching, bro. He's like shaking his head, like.
We got to rewatch that
No,
together,
you know
bro.
I'm laughing at that because
If anyone who has not seen Four Lions,
Wait,
You have to go see
I'm
it.
laughing at the whole shaking the head thing because
So that's like anti-surveillance, right?
I know, right? But
Yeah.
we had this one friend.
Set
of
it up.
ours-
You got to set it up. So that's most people have not seen Four Lions.
Okay,
They have
so
no idea what
these
you're
guys
talking
are out there like trying to plot this thing they're doing, right? And
This terrorist attack.
terrorist
Riz
attack,
Khan
right?
is in that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but so they're like unloading this truck, and like the guys are in the back. The guy's unloading, and the guy comes to meet him. He's like in the back going like this,
Shaking his head pretty
He's
fast,
like, what are
actually.
you doing, bro? He's like, bro, the cameras are watching, bro. Like, like the way you couldn't get a still image of him, of his face. Right? But if he kept moving, they couldn't get a still image. But the reason why I'm laughing is because we have a certain friend in the hood that used to drive on 355 on a highway here, a major highway with a tollway. Every time he'd go through the through pass, he would jerk his car hoping the license plate would so the cops couldn't trace him.
No. Remember that one scene? He's supposed to go to the grocery store and pick up like paint thinner or something. So he goes to the paint.
Dude, you gotta be showing
He goes
some of
like
these
this. He covers up his beard like this. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Look, I'm in disguise, bro.
So the thing is, we're not mocking we're not mocking the Islamic principle, but what we're laughing at is because we went through that kind of that mindset of extremism. So
But
we're laughing at the
that
extremism.
yeah, and that movie it was funny without insulting Islam.
It was insulting the
some of these psychological
crazy
problems.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly, and I'm okay with that.
yeah.
That's fine, right? But not the tenants, dude. Why do you have to do that? Like
Yeah.
you are above them.
Yeah,
You know, I had an article. I mean, I was talking about this to somebody today on a forum, on Discord forum. Like, oh, they're talking about Anglo-Saxon and white, because we were talking about the show that we did, right? And I'm like, why are you even having this discussion with them about morality when they talk about like Aisha radiallahu anha and stuff about their age? Who are they to preach morals to you, dude? I told the guy, it was like a non-Muslim guy. I'm like, bro, you guys used to take 2 showers a year. I mean, your whole lifetime. You guys had a powder room instead of cleaning yourself with water. You were filthy animals and dirty. Like even nowadays, you guys go out. I'm
He's
serious.
loving this.
No. Listen to this. They go out. You don't clean your butt, bro.
Yeah, they got like dingleberries, right?
Dingleberry. They got cake buttholes. No joke. Imagine, anyways, I don't want to get in detail, but
Well, you already did, dude. It's too late.
I
Causing
told
me
him,
monthly, bro.
No, but listen, my face.
You're in too deep now.
No, I mean, I told them my rear end is cleaner than your face.
Yeah.
Bottom line, okay? At the end of the day, you let your daughters go out on prom night to go bang whoever for whatever. It doesn't matter. They smash.
loving it. I knew he was gonna love
no,
As soon as you say bang him,
No.
mine just
No, you go home and like
He
you go to bed with your shoes on. You kiss
go
your
to
dog.
bed with your shoes
You
on?
know what I mean? Like some guy will walk in with his daughter or his sister with some guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be barging in your sex life. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like this. Like you have no right to preach morality to me. You are morally.
yeah, the youth.
Yeah, the youth.
Cuckold.
Like you are
The youth?
morally.
The youth.
Oh, I think like THE
No, like-
space YOUTH.
No, I meant like
No.
cuckoldry.
Okay.
But you get what I mean? Like they're morally bankrupt. Like you're
Yeah.
advocating for people to be like transgender and to cross-dress and to like to kill babies. And I mean, why are you morally superior to anybody? You're
Yeah.
talking about what we do as a people.
Yeah.
I mean, why are you even having a discussion with morally bankrupt people?
Yeah.
Why am I even comparing morality with you? I mean, they're like retarded people.
Mm.
Can I say that? No. That's a.
Yeah, they retarded is not an
It's not allowed
appropriate word anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. What is it? What should I-
Stupid is fine.
Degraded people. I don't know. What do you say?
Degenerates?
Degenerates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deplorables. Yeah. So that's better. But anyways, look. But the point being is that like I don't understand why we have this inferiority complex.
Yeah.
We are above you. Yani, I firmly, now this might get me in trouble. I firmly believe this, dude. The worst and the most disgusting Muslim is better than the best kafir. I don't care what you tell me, bro. Some people say it's harsh. Oh, come on, bro. There's good Muslims. I know there's good Muslims, bad Muslims. I mean, a good non-Muslim. I know that. But at the end of the day, hadith al-bataqa, the one who says La ilaha illallah, he will enter Jannah.
Yeah.
When akhir kalamhu La ilaha illallah huwa dakhil al-Jannah.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe that with yaqeen in my heart. So even if that
Whoa,
piece of,
yaqeen. Let's be careful about those terms.
But I'm saying that Muslim who is sinning and a piece of crap and he's backbiting or whatever it is, at the end of the day, he believes in La ilaha illallah and the other guy doesn't. And we talked about that sim with Sheikh Hartouche in the show about how
Hartouche?
Harfouche. He means Harfouche.
Harfouche.
Ali
Hartouche. I'm sorry.
Waliyadu billah. He'll be very
I'm sorry.
upset. We already called him
Sorry.
a doctor and he was very upset about that.
That's your fault because you trolled him.
I know.
I know, yeah. Anyway.
Hey, what about Edward Dutton? What was I calling him?
Sutton?
No, I was
Edward
calling
Scissorhands?
him. I was calling him the other white guy's
Edward
name.
Scissorhands?
Pee Wee Herman?
No, I was keep on calling him the wrong name, dude. I was calling him Robert.
Robert
Oh.
Dutton? Robert Dutton?
No, but you said something else before. We instead of calling him like Edward in the beginning.
Oh no, I said Jolly Rancher podcast. It was Jolly Heretic.
Jolly Heretic. Okay.
Johnny Rich.
So after he gets done, Sim goes, I did it on purpose.
Bro, he was so mean right from the beginning. I was just like, wait, what did
No,
he
you know
say?
the funny thing is, I see Sim talking about, I see the guy go like this. Like he's like his squinty eye, like he's trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like, I
Bro.
I felt like saying,
No.
bro, are you retarded? Like he's like, I mean, do you have a hearing problem? Like, what's wrong with
No,
you?
no. Okay, so it started off all wrong because Robert really amped him up, thinking that we're going to be debating with him left and right throughout the whole thing. We just wanted to know what you thought and want to debate a couple ideas
No,
from.
honestly, hold on. Let me just comment on that.
Yeah.
Let's segue. Let me just finish my last point. And
Yeah.
then, first of all, at the end of the day, bro, when you say La ilaha illallah, bro, you're better than anybody else. Right? I'm sorry. At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. That's how we were raised. Even for us, we would go to drive 15 miles to go fight at some high school for some kid just because he believed. Even with a piece of crap who was doing something wrong, we did that. Because that's our bond. And like Sheikh Harfouche was saying, that, you know, and that, you know, on that show, that's our lens. That's how we view the world. Right? That we have a negation and an affirmation. But let's segue into this. Now, in that show, bro, I had nothing really in the beginning, nothing to say, because you know why? If you're telling me Islam's gonna conquer the world, and that you don't, I mean, being too intelligent is not necessarily a good thing. You need to have a balance in between so you can be a people that conquers
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm cool, bro. I told him. I thought I told him. Listen, when we conquer, I'll give you a safe spot. Don't worry about it. I told him on the show.
Ahl Dimi, yani?
Yeah, I told him. I should have. So I mean, I told him. Yeah, I mean, he'll be with me. You know, I mean, he's like, oh yeah. He's like, and I asked him, you know, how would you feel, you know, and if there's, you know, when the Muslim state comes and you're not a Muslim. He's like, oh, well, you know, that's the cycle. And, you know, he just kind of shrugged it off. He had nothing to say. So, I mean, he knows it's going to happen. I don't have to worry about it. So, do I care that some doofus thinks that we're not intelligent enough for him? We got power, boy. I don't care what you think. You're going to do what we tell you to do anyways. You know what I mean? Like, do you think the goon cares if you think he has a 150 IQ or not? He's going to beat your butt. You know what I mean? He doesn't care. You better, you know what I mean? Like, I dare to say something, goofball. I'll punch you in your goddamn face.
No, I mean, look, what
Nerd.
I don't have a problem with him, you know, making this his studies and making all kinds of different attacks on Muslim society or whatever. I just want to know a link between how something like FGM causes someone's IQ to fall, a society's IQ. Yes, it's a stupid act. It's an act of stupidity. Yes. But how does it affect IQ?
So I think what he's saying with that, societies that generally have FGM as a practice are low IQ from the beginning.
Well, that's like, oh, well, we have in the South, we have people who do cousin marriage. So
there's no
what?
causation there.
Yeah.
It's just like there's no correlation. I mean, there might be a correlation because
And that's what I said.
Yeah.
And I was saying causation doesn't necessarily, correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation.
I'll give you an example.
And he was
like,
like,
and I couldn't bring it from the show because we went through so much stuff. But he was like, oh, you know, if you pray, if you have to keep breaking up a prayer, you're gonna be not productive in the day, right? What about these dummies who are like addicted to smoking cigarettes? They got to go out every hour. Are they not productive anymore?
yeah.
Right? People who drink coffee, they got to go out and get coffee every hour. Are they not productive anymore? Right? They probably spend more time making coffee than we. Let's be honest. We're not like some people in khushu for like an hour playing Salat al-Dhuhr. We're like in 30 seconds. I'm done, man. I'm on speed, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm lazy the whole time. When Salat time, I'm like. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, Mahi. You know what I'm talking about. I know Mahi knows what I'm talking about. Especially he's Malik. He doesn't raise his hands at all. He's just like this, straight up down.
It's super efficient.
Yeah, he's just like this. Just
Now, okay, let me ask you this though: Are we making fun of the dean now?
no.
How-
Shake.
in
With
what
FGM?
sense?
What are you talking
No, I'm
about?
talking about like
Oh,
how
me
we're
not-
flying through prayer and stuff like
Yeah, but I'm
that.
saying-
No, he's not making fun of the prayer.
I'm
He's
making
making fun of
fun of
himself.
myself.
He's
Yeah.
demeaning himself.
I'm saying I'm not a good listener.
He's saying he's a loser, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not,
Okay, okay.
you
He
know,
doesn't even drink coffee.
in front of my holiness, I'm a loser.
He doesn't even drink coffee. You know that?
Yeah.
Right? I know.
No,
Like,
I do drink coffee.
No,
Oh, you do?
you know.
Only Tim Hortons though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, praying at work
trash.
sucks.
Huh?
Praying at work sucks because it's like you're not even. It's like you can't really check out. You're like, oh, I got a meeting. Like, oh, yeah, spreadsheet.
It only works for me if I step out of the office, because I can feel that separation.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I'm in the office spot, I'm thinking psychologically I'm working.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one benefit that's been for COVID, alhamdulillah for COVID, that we're able to be at home and work. That no, I'm serious. There's certain benefits of it. We're like, I mean, think about this, guys. Oh, this is so great, dude. The bars are shut down. They're going to close down again because all the stuff's going on.
Yeah.
There's no more strippers walking around. No more street whores walking around. You know, people.
Oh man, my gym is like completely clean.
Yeah.
There's
Alhamdulillah, bro.
I could take
You started
a.
going back to the gym?
Yeah. I'm swimming like crazy now. The whole swimming pool is free of a haram,
Yani?
and there's you could go to the men's locker room and just completely walk around freely without any clothes on.
MashaAllah.
Not that I do that,
don't
but
do that stuff
I'm just
online,
saying
yeah.
if you wanted to, you know.
Is it that empty?
It's super empty. There's like social distancing rules between lockers.
Right,
Like
and
there's
not only
only
that,
two
and, like,
people around.
But
allowed
other
in there.
things too, like you don't have
No music playing.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
No, the thing is also like
Sharia
also,
law, bro.
No, also the thing. No, he's kind of in a way where Allah is bringing this to them without them even knowing it. Like we're not shaking hands anymore.
Yeah.
We're not staying too close. You know, people are not going out and meeting prostitutes anymore because they're afraid about that. You know, social distancing, right? They're not even places not serving alcohol because they don't want people to just sit there and hang out long or to drink alcohol, right? Like all these things, right? And on top of all that, we get to work from home, and I have khushu' in my salah again.
MashaAllah.
Right? Meaning that I'm able to think and be like, hey, and my work is like, you know what my work has been like? I mean, I'm not saying everybody has the same situation. My work is like, hey, you know what? You guys are home, and we understand that at home there are a lot of distractions, so don't worry about your traditional hours. Just put the hours in the week.
Yeah.
But you're not working specifically like 8 to 5.
It's
You
like,
get it?
not like our boy Salman.
yeah, exactly.
Who's Salman?
No, he's on our
Al-Oda?
show. No. No, so
Allah
like
make
it's funny
everything easy for
because
him,
some
man.
people some people I've spoken with, their work-life balance has completely gone to hell.
Yeah.
Working
He was
from home.
he was a guest, right?
Salman, remember back in the day?
Oh,
Yeah.
Salman Razak.
Yeah. So we were at our place last night. You know, you got y'all. We had Brooklyn. Missed you guys, but
Who?
you two.
Oh, I was busy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Editing the show,
Yes, removing critical.
removing information.
I just didn't check WhatsApp probably.
Yeah, but so we were catching up. So he works at he doesn't work he works in like private equity now, right? And dude, I was like, so how's COVID? He's like, COVID's been like nonstop. He's sleeping like 3 hours a day,
Why?
and then
That dude is a workhorse, bro.
and because COVID, what's going on is in the company for his industry, it's like all the companies are cheaper. So we work in private equity. They're buying
yeah.
all these companies.
So that's what's up for us too, because my company is in the business of we're in the food and beverage, but they're very diverse. So they're trying to buy. I mean, we acquired 3 companies in the last month, and we're onboarding them. Yeah, I mean, like, and actually, a couple of them, one in Crest Hill, and 2 in Chicago, actually, somewhere else too. But anyways, the point being is, you're right. Some people in that field, they're just super busy.
That's him, bro.
But I'm not even gonna lie though. I've been looking for a second job, like because hey. No,
So
I
you do
swear.
the second.
No, you know why?
Go
No,
ahead.
no, because I mean, check it out. If someone's remote work in IT, and I'm like, hey, bro, if someone, I mean, for a while I had 2 jobs, right, and I was getting double the salary, and I could do it. I mean, I'm at home, bro. I couldn't do it before last time because I was at the office, but now I'm at home, bro. Get ready, guys, because I mean, it's great, bro. If I can do it, right, and like I can take advantage of that. So for me, COVID's been
That's
a
a good
blessing,
idea.
bro. COVID's been a
Thanks for
blessing,
giving us
dude.
that.
I love COVID, dude. I'm not answering my question.
I love COVID.
I call me. I'm a COVID, bro.
Bro, you were doing so well for both of the podcasts. Now people are gonna be mad at you.
Who cares, dude? Listen, there's a silver lining. Listen, nothing affects a believer unless Allah wills it,
You're
right? And
You're
if he's patient with it, Allah will reward him.
Yep.
This is my
Uh-oh,
reward.
he's got the finger up.
Yeah, this is my reward.
That's what the Ikhwanis do when they're screaming at the pulpit.
Yeah.
Ah!
Anyways, no. Even though I was just gonna say, even though you get distracted in your salah, bro, it's just a part of it, man. It's all good. And that's why at the end we say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah for the distractions, bro.
Guys, we got to wrap up. Go ahead.
Okay.
Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. That's all I was
Okay.
going to say, man.
This podcast was sponsored by Al Asna Institute and
Al-Asna Institute, that's Daniel's.
Oh, was it?
and
Was it really?
joint
Stop talking
co-
about this guy, bro.
joint
It's getting on my
co-sponsors
nerves,
were
bro.
Yaqeen Institute as well. Thank you for the promos, for the money.
He lost it, bro.
And
I'm just joking. They had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, next episode we'll talk about the fiqh of breast milk, I guess.
No, I think we did a little bit, kind of.
No, we didn't. It's all good. There's detail to that though, but we'll leave it
yo,
as a
for real,
cliffhanger.
listen, I think me and Mahi have to probably do a side show on my show. We'll chop it up like we did last time.
Yeah,
I
we
think-
should. Yeah, we should do like we'll do it at your whatever you want to record.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we do a chop because I think that there's a lot of. I think what's good about this show is that we try to focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about doing a live stream when you're on your own is like I focus. We get to focus more on the comments.
Yeah.
And so I get to
Yeah.
like feed, like I get to see what people are saying, and that's kind of engaging. And I think everyone should do it. If you can. I know you're just technically like
Inept.
inclined.
It's
I mean,
called inept.
Yeah.
Getting you to do a YouTube live would be
Having
like
for me to set up 2 extra monitors with a laptop was like a 3-month project
bro,
for me, bro.
getting you. I
And so I'm still calling him
no,
up
listen.
Huh?
I
setting up the multiple
Oh, yeah.
monitors.
Don't ever try to help this guy out with anything.
Listen,
You're
I equate Amir getting on like doing a YouTube live on his own to like the battle of a ditch, a khandaq. Like I like that would be impossible for you to do.
I can do it because it's just pressing a button.
Prove it.
But making it good
Prove
would be a
it.
problem.
Prove
Well, I've heard he's been learning WordPress now.
But he doesn't know what that means, dude.
That was awesome. He doesn't know what that means.
I mean,
That was good. I like that.
What does WordPress do?
Huh? It's building a website, dude.
Yeah, but
It's web developing without knowing coding, bro.
Is that true?
All right, guys.
Yeah, it's
We
web
gotta
development
get
without-
outta here.
You don't have to know coding. That's why people.
We got to get out of here. There are people trying to sleep now.
Oh.
Yeah, there's it's a work night.
Oh, yeah, it is.
no, tomorrow's 5 months off.
Today starts tomorrow.
It's 4th of July. You
No,
want
tomorrow's the
like
3rd.
Tomorrow's the third.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
people are
everyone's
giving
off tomorrow.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, dude.
Hey, you guys want to drive
He
down
is
to
such
Indiana?
an
Hey, guys, let's drive down to
unpatriotic
Indiana and get some
douche.
fireworks, dude.
By the way, to all my American brothers, a happy 4th of July. I know this is gonna anger some of you people who are.
It
like,
will because like
Oh,
some
say,
shake
Can you see?
Oh, stop it! You're breaking some windows.
or Canada.
Waliyadu billah.
No, but I'm saying you guys want to go to Indiana buy some fireworks, bro?
Like right now.
Not for the sake of 4th of July. No, they're open till 1 a.m. Phantom
Bro,
fireworks.
I'm not going anywhere
I just
in
want to put on a
Indiana,
fireworks
bro.
show for my kids this year, bro.
Really?
Yeah, probably
listen,
might be down.
tomorrow
I got
or
a trick for you,
on
bro.
the 6th or
Just
7th.
listen, get an incense stick and just light it on fire, be like a sparkler. Just do
That's
that.
ghetto, dude.
Yeah, but no. By the way, also since you mentioned it, Happy Canada Day to our Canadian listeners. That was yesterday. Yesterday. Because
Yeah.
July 1st is
Happy
Happy
4th,
Canada
Happy
Day.
Canada Day. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I got both.
This is all nationalism and SB. I don't have nothing
Oh,
anything
it's
to do
still
with
good
this.
to be part of your country. You're born
Yo,
in.
proud,
How about-
proud American, bro. Proud.
We're
Canadian
proud boys.
American.
Have at it, Hoss. I don't care. I'm
He's
just joking.
wearing red
I'm kidding.
We're
I'm
proud
kidding.
boys. Okay?
Oh, I got my England jersey on too for my Brits. Yo, I love my colonizing nations.
Oh my God.
That clip is now gonna
All
be
right,
like
that's
going
enough.
viral.
That's enough
But
out
no,
of you.
but, no, I can. All jokes aside, listen. We're just joking. Have a safe weekend and stay safe. And by the way, real quick, we'll side now to Sim. COVID is spiking, guys. Don't take this like it's some kind of conspiracy where COVID is not real. We're seeing a rise in cases where people thought that social distancing is not working. It's legitimately real, dude. People are getting sick. Don't take a chance with it. There are people that we know who have gotten the virus and they're sick, and it's not something you want to deal with. I know of people that have practiced social distancing, used like hand sanitizers, put the mask on, and they went out like 3 or 4 times in total in like 4 months, and they still got it.
Yeah, man.
So and they felt like they said like the pain they had in their lung was like something they've never felt like in their life, like nothing. And so I'm just saying that I'm not saying to scare you, but treat it like it's something dangerous. Don't think that because other people are going out and you've gotten tired of the lockdown. Be vigilant. Do what you have to do. Make your dua that Allah protects you, but still if you have to do things, whatever. But part of tawakkul is doing what you can do to prevent harm. So take that seriously on a serious note.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see y'all next time. Assalamu alaikum.
You forgot?
I was going to say patreon.com/Mamluks. But go ahead and do. Yeah, don't forget. It's just the outro.
Just say it right now.
Yeah, patreon.com.
Donate on Patreon, guys. That's it.
$3 a month. That's it.
As long as you think we're still Muslims.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh my god.